Right?
Hello, welcome you all on the platform of vedayuonline.com. And today we are here with a new topic, anemia in pregnancy solutions from Ayurveda. This January is also celebrated as Folic Acid Awareness Week. But why folic acid is an important public health issue? From published data, it is estimated that in India, up to 4 or 5 per thousand births are affected by neural tube defects. Means there is a defect, this is a birth defect due to spinal cord defect or some defects in a brain. So, for prevention of this neural tube defect, we have to give for prevention we have to give the effective folic acid intervention. So today we are going to learn about this folic acid from Dr. Seema Mehre ma'am. She is professor and head of the department of Prasuti and Stri Rog Tantra, that is gynecology, in the DG Pool Foundation, that is Yerla Medical College, Khargar. I am very glad to introduce you, ma'am, on the platform of Vedayu, and we would like to hear you about the anemia in pregnancy solutions from Ayurveda. And the dice is yours, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving me another opportunity to on this platform of VedaU. And this topic of anemia in pregnancy is very common. So we have really chosen a very common topic. And this is in occasion of the Folic Acid Awareness Week, which is celebrated every year all over the world. Uh, we will talk. We'll start with the talk only because all these points are included in my PPT. So I'll start now. So, what is anemia in pregnancy? Anemia is a medical condition which is commonly caused by iron deficiency. And during pregnancy, anemia can often make you feel tired and weak. So, you can see in the diagram, normal blood cells, the concentration is different in one diagram, and in another slide, the concentration is less. So, basically, that is anemia. My slide is a mix of, it is for non-medical people also, and it is for my patients, uh, it is not only for my students, PG students. So we will find the language very easygoing and a little for layman also. So folic acid awareness week is January 4th to January 10th every year. Madam had actually told me to give the lecture that time, but it was not possible for because of my exams and all. So that is why a little delay. National Folic Acid Awareness Week, observed during the first week of Jan, it brings much needed attention to the crucial vitamin that is especially important to women who are pregnant or who want to be pregnant. Like today also we did IUI in my college. My PGs only did it under guidance. And for the IUI also we start follow it. Means any patient who is willing for child, who wants a baby, has to be given Folvite 5 mg BD for 3 months before taking a chance. This is because folic acid in one's diet is a key weapon in the fight against folate deficiency anemia in infants. In fact, if taken before conception and early pregnancy, folic acid can also prevent up to 70% of neural tube defects, serious birth defects in the brain and the spine. So basically, what is folic acid? It is a vitamin. We all know that B complex. By now, even a child knows because they are, from school level. Nowadays, the curriculum is there about community living and eat green fruits, green vegetables, eat plenty of fruits. But many times it goes together. HB means folic acid, means folate. But actually, there is a small difference. There is a, as I said before, there is a B complex. So B complex means B12, B6, again B9. So folate means B9 actually. And it is found in citrus fruits and leafy greens. Folic acid refers to artificially added vitamin that is used to enrich flours, pastas, and breads. Nowadays, if you go to the market or even if do online delivery, in that also fortified by folic acid, fortified atta, fortified this, fortified that, fortified breakfast. This is a very common term used for healthy diet. Fortified means they have artificially put that thing, and folate is in the natural form. So this is the difference which you should understand. And this is specifically to assist the to prevent the birth defects. Birth defects, it can be very painful, very bad for the mother. At till 4 months, she's very happy and she has got a chance that my baby is very healthy, happy, and all. And suddenly she comes to know that your baby has spina bifida, or the baby doesn't have a brain. It's so painful to that woman. So yeah, we have to prevent it happening only basically. So vitamin B12 or folate deficiency anemia, it means why it is important, because both of these keep your nervous system healthy. You will develop B12 or folate deficiency anemia if you don't have enough of these vitamins. And these types of anemia are less common than iron deficiency. Usually everything goes together. So when you go to even a gynecologist, she will give you a capsule Otrin or a Fursoft or some iron capsule or iron medicine. And if you see in that, it is not only iron. It is 50 mg iron, but most of the time it is with folic acid, with folate, with other B complex. You take any iron tonic, it goes together, and that is why many people think that it is one and the same, but it is not. So you won't be tested up for these types of anemia as a part of your antenatal care unless you have some problem. Only you will be tested only for low iron levels or if you have any symptoms. So next is now what is anemia and what are the types? Anemia is a blood condition that develops when you don't have enough red blood cells. Red blood cells contain hemoglobin, a protein that carries oxygen around your body and to your baby. Physiological anemia of pregnancy. There are two types, as is the condition in many Garbha Upadrava, as we say in Ayurveda. There is always a combination, like there are some conditions which are there physiological, and there are some conditions which, when this physiological evidence becomes pathological, then it becomes a thing to treat. So physiological anemia also has to be treated, because if you don't treat that, the patient will end up in severe anemia then. So why there is a physiological anemia of pregnancy? Because it is due to the disproportionate increase in plasma volume, RBC volume, and HB, yeah, hemoglobin mass during pregnancy. See, it's like this. The volume of the blood increases. So the amount of other contents is the same. It's like this, that if you have 1 teaspoon sugar in 1 glass of water, usually, and in that you are adding some more water, but the sugar is the same. So what happens is the volume increases, but the sugar granules are the same, and therefore it looks that the sugar has come down, or in this case the HB or the iron cells have come down. Actually they are the same, but because the volume has increased, because of the liquid that is increased in the body, that is why, and that is because of the pregnancy, that is why it looks that the patient is having anemia, but actually the iron content is the same, only the volume has increased. I hope you got what I want to say. Then again, plus a marked demand of extra iron during pregnancy, especially the second half. Hence, there is always a physiological deficit. See, basically, Garbhasarato, that is a parasite. The pregnancy which occurs, the the baby doesn't have a independent existence till now, and it is wholly and solely dependent on the mother. So it takes the iron, the calcium, the thyroxine, whatever it wants, it takes from the mother, and mother deficiency hote, not the baby. So what this is the physiological anemia which we have to correct. It doesn't matter whether the patient is having 12 HB when she is pregnant. It is going to come down apne aap. So that is the responsibility of the Anganwadi workers, of the workers, of the doctors. That whatever ANC patient, she has to be given iron, definitely, and even calcium. Another thing which you must have noted in old movies, or you must have seen in many times, that the first thing khatta khane ki इच्छा होती है, or she starts eating mud. So that is a sign of calcium deficiency and iron deficiency. And according to Ayurveda, amla rasa shishira priti means ambat avadतं. Patient starts feeling that she wants to eat sour things like चिंच खावीशी वाटते किंवा कुछ खट्टा खाने को जी करता है. So all these things come because of this deficiency. Okay. So now we will go to the pathological anemia which needs to be treated. Deficiency anemia, isolated or combined. Why I said combined? Because as I said before, It will be combined with folic acid deficiency, with B12 deficiency, with other issues. Then one is deficiency anemia, second is hemorrhagic. Suppose she has bleeding. A patient, it can be acute or chronic. In acute, the following bleeding occurs in the early months or APH, antepartum hemorrhage. That means before delivery, the patient bleeds. And second is the chronic one, hookworm infestation, bleeding piles, etc. Then third is the hereditary, thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, RBC membrane defects. For example, G6PD, that is glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase. It is an enzyme deficiency and it causes hemolytic anemia. So all these are there in the patient before only, before when the patient takes birth, that time only, but it is noticed afterwards. Then there is bone marrow insufficiency, hyperplasia or aplasia due to radiation, drugs, aspirin, indomethacin, and many times it occurs in CA also, cancer. Then anemia of infection, malaria or tuberculosis. Such patients, many times when a patient comes to us with severe anemia, and if she is having a history of fever like typhoid or malaria and all, so we have to check other things also like splenomegaly and other things, and we have to ask her, "की तुला malaria होऊन गेलाय काय?" This is the reason we have to treat her again. We have to give her the prophylactic dose of malaria also then chloroquine, and the primaquine is given, but not in the pregnant patient when she comes for pregnancy. Then there are chronic diseases like renal neoplasm. Neoplasm means the beginning of cancer. So signs and symptoms. Symptoms of anemia can include tiredness and lack of energy, shortness of breath, feelings of having a fast beating, fluttering or a pounding heart, palpitations. Now, what are the causes? Causes is one basic cause. I always tell my PG students also that any patient comes to you, before starting iron, you have to give deworming because it is very common in India. We don't have those sanitizing habits right from childhood. Nowadays, of course, we have improved a lot as a whole, but still, especially in the villages and all, children still tend to eat mud or play in mud, and that mud has the remnants of hookworm infestation. Means the feces which are infected by hookworms are they are transmitted to by mistake. Means they will put the mud hand in the mouth, and that will the egg and the larvae of the hookworms are transmitted to the mouth of the baby or the child, or even the mother who is working in the fields. So they have to wash their hands. Abhi corona se, because of corona, everyone knows now how important is hand sanitization. So that is one positive effect of corona, that we are all becoming very hand hygiene conscious. Otherwise, you're gone. But that is the reason why it is important, hand hygiene. But hookworm infestation is very common in India and in third world countries. So whenever a patient comes to you, even if she is not pregnant, there are many patients who are posted for hysterectomy. My students know that. There are many students, you know, working on this subject with me. So every time we have to tell them that if it is iron deficiency, first you have to give. The causes are important, and the main cause is bookworm infestation. Pregnancy is often the cause of iron deficiency anemia. As I said, if physiological anemia is very common. You and your baby need more iron to make red blood cells while you are pregnant. Iron deficiency anemia can happen when you are not eating enough food with iron. You are also more likely to have anemia if you are a vegan. You know what is a vegan? I think many people know now what is a vegan. Vegan is people who are not having milk products also. Non-veg tak khat nahi tassi log, but they don't even eat milk and dairy products. So they will have milk of soya milk or almond milk or other types of milk, and they will drink that, but they will not drink dairy milk. That is vegan. And vegetarian also, since they don't eat non-veg, so direct HB बढ़ाने का दवा उनमें उनको मिलता नहीं है. So they have to make do with other things. If they have had anemia before, some people have a tendency of anemia. I know many of my colleagues also. जिनका इट्स ऑलवेज 8, 9, कुछ भी करो थोड़े दिन के बाद फिर से वो उसी लेवल पे आता है. Then if they are having a history of heavy periods, are carrying more than one baby, were younger than 20 when you got pregnant, when you are pregnant again after having a baby last year. Will iron deficiency anemia harm me or the baby? That is a very common question patients ask, that now that I am having anemia, what I should do now? So most people with anemia in pregnancy go on to have a healthy pregnancy and a baby. However, anemia has been linked to big pregnancy complications before and after birth if it isn't treated. These can include, first is premature birth, low birth weight, placental abruptio. Just now, one of my PG students had called me that she will be joining late because she is handling a patient of abruptio placenta now at present in her OT. So she was just telling me about the case. I said, okay, you join whenever it's convenient to you. And placental abruption means suddenly the placenta loses its connection with the uterus. So this case which she was telling is 5 months, but generally this happens in late trimester, in the 8th month, 9th month also. Abruption placenta means suddenly, as I said before, it loses the connection, and that is why it starts bleeding. There is internal bleeding, and therefore we have to terminate the pregnancy. We have to do a cesarean because, or if the os is open and the baby is coming out, then we have to look at what is the health condition of the baby, because once the placenta is lost its connection, then what happens is the baby will have asphyxia, and the chances of the baby being compromised is very high. So we have to be very careful. Your body being less able to cope with blood loss during labor, iron deficiency in your baby in the first 3 months of life, problems with the baby's mental development. Then how is iron deficiency anemia treated? If you have anemia, you will be probably prescribed iron supplements or take a liquid. Vitamin C can also help to absorb the iron. So you could try taking the tablets with a drink containing vitamin C, such as orange juice. The supplements may also give you some stomach pain, constipation, and your toilet may become black. This is a very common thing which the patients tell us, and that is why I will further tell you why Ayurvedic medicines are more healthy, and they don't create all these things. This is all normal, but still you can call a gynecologist if you are worried. Then you may find it easier to cope with the side effects if you take supplements with or soon after food. This is a very common question. Even students ask me, and patients are also ask me always that when to take calcium, when I should take iron. So generally, we should take it with food so that it's better for absorption. Your symptoms should get better after taking iron supplements. If it doesn't, or if your anemia is severe, you will probably be referred to a hematologist. Such cases also I have seen some 2, 3 years ago. One of my patients was having a hematology problem, and she issue then one OPD she had to go to that hematologist, and second consultation was with me, and then we handled she had a full term 9 month normal delivery, and was very happy with our Ayurvedic treatment side by side. So this also is very common. IV iron therapy like Orofer, we give Orofer in practice. That is also given. If it is necessary, they will only give. Means like third trimester है, अभी delivery नजदीक आई है, and she is having HB is only 8. Then you have to give iron intravenous. So that time we give Orofer S 100 milligram in 100 ml normal saline, and it should be over in a period of 90 minutes. There is a protocol. We have to admit the patient for that, because since it is a iron we are giving directly, there is a high chance of cardiac overload. Now, if the cardiac overload occurs in a single patient, then that is a bad thing for Orofer, and also of course to the patient. So we have to observe the patient for especially the first half an hour. If she is having any palpitation, tachycardia, low BP, sweating, anything which is related to cardiac issues, then we have to immediately stop the Oroferase drip. If it is nowadays we give oropharynx only, but many years ago we used to prefer, before these therapies came, we used to give blood transfusion direct, PCV, packed cell volume. There also we had to do the same precautions. So best foods. Now we'll come to the main part of the presentation, that how you are going to handle this anemia with food and with Ayurvedic. Our topic is solutions in Ayurveda. So Ayurveda always gives more preference, or more, they don't make the patient medicine dependent. They have to, it always stresses the importance of diet, of a lifestyle, of a regimen, patya patya kalpana, as we say, that is always there. Of course, this what I'm telling is not only in Ayurveda, this is overall general knowledge which every person knows nowadays, because people are very health conscious. So most people should be able to get all the iron they need by eating a healthy and balanced diet. Eating well will help you either prevent anemia or manage your symptoms. Now, eating well doesn't mean eating double. That is a very common mistake which all the mothers and mother-in-laws and saas and bahu people do. कि अभी तुझे 2 लोगों के लिए खाना है, अभी डबल खाना है. If she is eating 2 rotis, then they force her to eat more. So that is very, very wrong, because Ayurveda gives importance to Agni. Agni is very, very important. And if the patient, if she is not hungry, then don't give her. Because ऐसा अगर हमने जबरदस्ती ठूसा उसके मुंह में, so what is going to happen is it is going to create a imbalance, in the sense that because the Agni is not good, it is not going to digest, and this is going to go to amanirmiti, or toxicity, according to Ayurveda. And you must have noticed that in many patients, especially the higher paying class, or the people who are very conscious, there are many patients land in PIH, pregnancy induced hypertension. And the reason is they overeat. Because they overeat, the digestion doesn't happen properly. तो जो न्यूट्रिशन होना चाहिए वो होता ही नहीं है. And instead of that, she goes into the toxemia. And because of that, because of obesity, because of BP, because of the other changes which occur, she will land in pregnancy induced hypertension. And that lands in IUGR. I mean, the whole idea of you're having a nutrition, because why they say eat more for the baby, but the baby only becomes IUGR, means the baby ka growth nahi hoti hai. Instead, the mother becomes fat and obese and lands in hypertension. And then we have a small baby and a overweight mother, which is a very common scene nowadays. This is not good, because the patient eats more. She also thinks that ha mujhe khana hai. And the another reason why, especially in first pregnancy it happens. Another reason why it happens is till the marriage, till her marriage, and till her, before she becomes pregnant, the woman is very conscious of her, weight and figure and all these things. So उसने कम खाती है वो, and she is very conscious of that. But once she becomes pregnant, she lets it go. So many times it happens. Of course, there are two types. One is who was overconscious, means even pregnancy का जो weight बढ़ता है, that also she feels, अरे बाप रे, मेरा इतना weight बढ़ गया, अभी मैं क्या करूँ? How I am looking? And they want to look good in pregnancy also, which is a very normal tendency. But there, in fact, nowadays there are fashion shows which are organized for pregnant women. But that is not the, our point is different. Point is that if you are hungry, then only you eat more. If you're not hungry, then don't overeat just because your saas is prepared gajar ka halwa and bita sa halwa and all those things for you. If you can digest it, then only eat it, irrespective of what even if your mother is giving. Ask, tell her, "Mala bhook nahi hai, that I cannot eat this much." So some food has more iron than the others. For example, animal-based foods are particularly rich in iron, and they are most easily absorbed. So these are the fruits, berries, as you can see. Uh, Strawberries and other berries and all. Good sources of iron include meat, which is red meat such as beef, lamb, and pork. Apan khat nahi pork, but still there are some people who are eating, so it's good for them. And it should be cooked thoroughly. Pulses, beans, peas, lentils, fresh green leafy vegetables such as cabbage, spinach, watercress, parsley, spring onions, seeds such as sunflower or sesame seeds, dried prunes, raisins, figs, and unsulfured apricots. and fish such as grilled mackerel and canned tuna, whole grains, brown rice, nuts. Why I'm telling all this is because nowadays the paying class, which is very conscious of their weight and all, they know these foods better than the Indian foods. That is why we have to tell in this language nowadays. Because as I said before, everyone is health conscious, and there are two extreme types: one who doesn't care at all, and one who cares too much. So that is why this also I have included in my slide. Now this is the iron-rich diet for vegetarians. You can see all are colorful vegetables, and this is also one reason why colorful means the color itself is a marker of HB, yeah, HB increase. Now to make sure you get a rich iron-rich diet, you can add green leafy vegetables, add fruits, and iron fortified fruits. Kellogg's and everything nowadays they are very famous for that, but they are expensive also. So don't tell your poor patients to eat all these things. Your poor patients can eat banana also. They can eat khazur, banana. Then they can eat. It is there in my slide in as we scroll. So some fruits and vegetables containing vitamin C can help the body absorb iron. These include kiwi fruit, oranges, potatoes, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels, that is sprouts, and parsley. Very few people know that potatoes also have iron. Potato itna badnaam ho gaya hai because of vada pav and all these things. Potato is all obese people or all people who are watching the weight think that you should not eat potatoes. But the thing is, potatoes are good when they are boiled. If they are included with in a bhaji or in a batata vada or other snack type, then only it will increase weight. A potato itself doesn't increase weight. So in fact, you can eat if you are eating a healthy sandwich with brown fortified bread, which you people like nowadays. So if you are included in that, then you can just put a baked potato slice in that, along with cucumber, tomato, and whatever other things you like, oregano sprinkling. So it is very tasty and very healthy. So potato doesn't mean that you are eating wrong food. The only thing, as I said before, it shouldn't be fried. Fried foods are the one which are bad for you. Try to avoid drinking tea and coffee, including the decaf versions, especially with the meal, because this can stop iron being absorbed. It will be helpful if you cut down your caffeine intake in pregnancy anyway. So that is not good. Then the signs and symptoms of vitamin B12 anemia. Iron deficiency anemia is different. B12 anemia is different. This occurs in many college-going girls also. I'm sure half of my college students also must be suffering from this, and but just they don't know that this is vitamin B12. So in this there is a pale yellow tinge to skin, a sore and a red tongue, and glossitis, mouth ulcers, pins and needles, paresthesia म्हणजे हाताला मुंग्या येतात सारख्या असं पेशंट सांगतो. Changes in the way you walk and move around. That is the main sign of vitamin B12. Then again, there is disturbed vision, irritability, depression, changes in the way you think, feel, and behave. Because there is depression, the patient doesn't have any, उत्साह नसतो कुठल्याही गोष्टीचा. And a decline in your mental abilities such as memory, understanding, judgment, dementia. Some of these symptoms can all occur in people who have B12 deficiency, but they have not developed anemia. So, as I said before, this demarcation is very important. Folate deficiency anemia, as well as symptoms listed, you may also have reduced sense of taste, diarrhea, numbness and tingling in the feet and hands, muscle weakness, depression. Both deficiency are treated with supplements, and some women will need B12 injections. Now, in some cases, what happens, especially if you are having thyroid? So after having thyroid, धीरे धीरे बाकी भी ये जो है B12 and all, they also land in autoimmune disorders. You all know that thyroid is an autoimmune disorder, means your body itself creates antibodies against your own thyroxine cells. So same thing happens in B12 also. So some patients need injections and not tablets, because if you take tablets, they're not they just go, they are digested in the food and it goes out in the waste. But if you take injections, then only it goes in the blood. So some patients need injections. They cannot. It is of no use. How much ever you eat palak and you eat kothambir and you eat so many green vegetables, still it is not going to have any effect because you are having folate deficiency. It's not absorbed through the food. It is absorbed through directly. It should go in the blood. So B12 will help the baby to grow and develop. They protect the baby from developing problems in the neural tube such as spina bifida. B12 you can find in meat, fish, eggs, dairy products, yeast extract such as marmite. Now these are all foreign dravya आहेत ही सगळी. We don't eat them. Then fortified fruits. Make sure that any meat is cooked thoroughly and any dairy products are pasteurized. Many people drink direct pasteurized milk. Literally, they remove it from the packet, pour it in a glass, and drink. So many patients tell us like that there is no need to boil also because it's pasteurized. But this is again a वादाचा मुद्दा आहे त्यामुळे we tell them to boil and drink. You can find folate in broccoli, sprouts, spinach, asparagus. Asparagus means shatavari, peas, chickpeas, and breakfast cereals. So folic acid in pregnancy, a healthy diet. Main thing is that only you should always take folic acid supplements in pregnancy, even if you don't have folic deficiency anemia. I told this before only. We have to give vitamin D also along with that. After you have the baby, now once the 9 months are complete, again in delivery, म्हणजे सुतिका अवस्थेमध्ये सुद्धा if you have anemia, then you have to talk to your doctor or health worker that what you have to do. So you have to, we all tell our patients that after delivery also, 6 months you have to, minimum 6 months you have to continue the iron and calcium which you have been taking during pregnancy. If it is necessary, then only we give injections, otherwise we give oral only. Very rarely it happens that we have to give a patient unless she hasn't come in ANC period. Direct, kadi kadi patient, they come directly after delivery. Delivery is done somewhere else, and they come and tell us that I'm having these problems. And when we check, we come to know that she's having anemia. So such patients also we have to treat. Anemia and breastfeeding, you can of course safely breastfeed during anemia. You can also take vitamins supplements safely while breastfeeding as long as you are not taking more than the recommended dose. You can check this with your GP, gynecologist, or health visitor. Anemia can affect the milk supply, so you may not produce more milk. This may make breastfeeding difficult for some women, but not for everyone. And you should ask about breastfeeding cafes, centers, and drop-ins. Now, breastfeeding cafe are not common in India, but they are quite becoming crazy in the Western areas. The reason is breastfeeding in public is supposed to be a taboo. It is not good. In India, we don't definitely we don't encourage it. But many people are shamed that how she can sit in a public place and breastfeed. But there are some people who do that and then they feel bad if they are ashamed about it. So such breastfeeding cafes means what? That women come together, they talk about their breastfeeding problems, and they share the problems with each other, and then they tell the solutions also. So it is like how there are groups of depression patients or uh, support groups of patients who have gone through depression or suicide attempts and other such things. So there are some groups like that. So similarly, there are groups of breastfeeding women who have no one to talk to, who are worried about how the baby will grow, and therefore they meet there. And this need fortunately अजून तरी इंडियामध्ये एवढी वेळ आलेली नाहीये बिकॉज वी आर स्टील लिटिल मोर सोशल देर आर ॲटलिस्ट अ गर्भिणी अँड द सुतिका इज ट्रीटेड डिफरंटली she has friends with whom she can talk. There are some people, even if it is a nuclear family or they are staying alone, still the mother is there, the mother-in-law is there, some friend is there, some female friends are there who guide them. So at least till now, we haven't heard of a breastfeeding cafe in India. So now we'll come to the Ayurvedic part. And in Ayurveda, actually, only Hayrit Samhita has described 8 medical orders occurring in pregnancy, and they are as follows: Shosha Ullasa Chardishcha, Shofa Jwaras Tathar Aruchi, Atisaro Vivarnatvam, Ashtav Garbhopadravaha Smritaha. This is Harit Samhita reference, and in this also Garbhini Pandu is not mentioned directly, but Vivarnata means we have included in that. So Garbhini Pandu or Vaivarnya, as we can see, Garbhini Pandu is not described directly, but Vaivarnya means pallor or skin discoloration. It is described while taking being can be taken as Pandita or pallor. It is found in jaundice also, Kamala, but since Kamala occurs only after Pandu only, Vaivarnya can be taken as both, as Pandu or Kamala. Anemia is called as Pandu in Ayurveda. I know the for layman does it sounds funny because we all say Pandu means Pandu Havaldar and all, or Pandu Rang ka short form रहता है. But Pandu means basically white color. So I don't know why Pandura means, because Pandu the color means white actually. आणि पांडुसु पीत भागार्धा केतकी धूली सन्निभा में हाउ इट लुक्स इज केतकी जो फ्लावर रहता है उसका जो पोलन ग्रेन्स रहते हैं उसका जो व्हाइट कलर रहता है वो व्हाइट कलर पेशेंट को आता है. दैट इज वाई पांडु इज द नेम. केतकी धूली सन्निभा, दैट इज द कलर, that is the hue which the patient's skin gets. And this occurs in jaundice, this occurs in severe anemia, and that is why the name is Pandu Rog. You all know Mahabharata reference. Pandav is because of Panduchi Mula म्हणजे Pandav. So he was called Pandu because he was anemic. And why he was anemic? Because he was having a heart problem. So he was having cardiac issues, and that is why he was having a less supply to the blood. I mean, less HB in his body. That is why he is to, he had those issues of asthma and all. And that is the reason why he expired also. He was having coitus asthma. There is also another story. He was having a curse, and that during coitus only you will expire and all. That is another story. But if you do look at it medically, the medical finding only says that he must be having some mitral valve defect or something, and it was related to cardiac issues, related to the anemia, related to cardiac issues, and that is why his name was Pandu. And so Pach Pandav came from him. The rest you know. It is a difficult. It is Kashyapa has advised that treatment of Garbhopadravas is the same as otherwise occurring diseases. Only special care has to be taken since she is pregnant and the health of the baby too is at stake. So Kashyapa has directly said that you don't have to study Garbhopadrav in a different manner. It is only that the Samprapti and everything is the same. What happens in other non-pregnant patients, the same thing happens in Garbhini. But because she is a Garbhini, you have to take care of the mother and the child because it is another different situation. So treatment in Ayurveda, we cannot give Panchakarma for Garbhini. Only Nasya is allowed, and that also doesn't not necessarily comes in Panchakarma. Panchakarma therapy as such. Nasya is uh, Shodhan Nasya, Shaman Nasya. So like that in Garbhini we give only Shaman Nasya, we don't give that. Many patients are given Falagruta Nasya for better development, and in patients, especially a patient of POH, bad obstetric history, we give that also. So the kalpas used in Panduroga, Tapyadi Loha, Navayas Loha, Punarnama Mandur, Lohasa, Dari Mavaleha, Mahatiktaka Gurta, and Vidangarishta. All of these are containing iron with some herbs and medicines and herbal medicines rather. And Vidangarishta separate we don't give to the Garbhini actually. If the patient comes before pregnancy, then we advise for 15 days. Because like Zental, we don't have a start dose. See, the difference between Ayurveda and allopathy medicines is that suppose you give albendazole, whatever you give for an anti-helminthic, what happens is they sedate the worms. The worms which are active in the intestine, they go to sleep, and then they are pushed out of the feces. So, and if their hookworms are very small, minute worms, we don't even see them. Naked eye ला दिसत नाही. But the tendency of having worms is not cured by allopathic medicines. So Zental, then we have to give again we have to repeat the dose in 15 days. And sometimes we have to repeat after 6 months also. But generally, we don't get such severe infection patients in our regular OPD. That is why at present we give only twice a uh, twice a month. Like means one first dose, start dose, and repeat after 15 days. But if a patient is saying that if she has a chronic history of anemia, then you have to give Vidangarishta for 15 days at least, so that it will cure all the tendency of creating the tendency of the worm infestation. So all the eggs and the larvae are also killed because of Vidangarishta. So that is the difference between that. If you see all the medicines, whether it is Tapedi Loha, Navayas Loha, all of them contain Vidanga. Vidanga, Chitrak, Nagarmutha, Trifala and Trikatu. These nowadays these words are very familiar with thanks to Corona, Ayurveda has come in the limelight, and I will not say thanks actually, but in this pandemic, people realize the importance of Indian medicine, of the of Ayurveda, and I because of this now Trifala means Avla, Amala Churna, and immunity is the important word nowadays. So all this is achieved in all these medicines. So once you treat with these medicines and they don't, if you choose the drug properly, then there are no side effects also. I will not say Ayurveda doesn't have side effects because जिसका effect होता है उसका side effect तो बनता है. It has to happen. But you have to choose it properly. The only thing is the side effects of Ayurveda are not drastic. Like suppose you give a patient who is having diabetes and you give an overdose. So his effects are very dramatic. The patient may land in diabetic coma also if it goes very low sugar. But in Ayurvedic medicines, it doesn't happen so drastic. Life threatening side effects are not seen, and that is why people feel that Ayurvedic medicines don't have side effects. They have, but they are not so dramatic, and we don't lose lives in that. But still, the effects are there. If you have some, as I said before, effect है तो side effect तो होना ही है. So these are the medicines. Now, Indian diet for anemia and pregnancy. Many patients ask what to eat and what not to eat. So, Indian diet, this is generally for everyone, not only the Garbhini. So, चवळी मसूर डाळ रेसिपी यू सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे चवळी म्हणजे काय मसूर डाळ म्हणजे काय इट इज लोडेड विथ आयर्न how to make different dishes of that you have to add all the masalas how much ever you like garam masala is one a typical Indian ingredient which everyone likes but to सहन व्हायला पाहिजे otherwise many people land in acidity. The vitamin A together with the protein in the dal helps to maintain healthy skin and vision while the iron keeps the anemia at bay. All type of sprouts legumes like moong masoor matki chana harbara. Moong dosa is one very easy recipe which I'll tell you at the end. It is it is good for all, I'll always tell my PG students also that have a good breakfast when you come to the college. एक वेळ लंच थोडा तुम्ही हे केला तरी चालेल. But having a good breakfast means you are alert whole day when you are working with us. And second, you will not suffer from all these problems. All types of sprouts. Vegetarians have to be more alert because the amount in the vegetables is less than non-veg foods. Still, they can compensate by having dals and legumes daily. Then there's some common food items for iron. They are नाचणी सत्व, गव्हाचं सत्व, पालक सूप, टोमॅटो सूप, जॅगरी गुड आयटम्स लाईक पुरणपोळी नाव आता संक्रांतीचा सीझन आहेच अजूनही रथसप्तमी यायची आहे त्यामुळे हळदी कुंकू इज स्टील गोइंग ऑन. सो तिल का लड्डू, देन शेंगदाणा लाडू, राजगिरा लड्डू, फ्रुट्स लाईक बनानास, pomegranate, apples, mango. Mangoचा सीझन यायचं आहे. विदाउट सीझन यू शुड नॉट eat anything. Otherwise, also Garbhini, we tell them not to eat mangoes, papaya, and ananas. So they are not like असं एकदम निषिद्ध नाहीये, but people like no, so they go on eating. So that is why we have to tell them to be cautious. All green vegetables, non-veg food items, red meat, eggs, fish is a very good source of vitamin B12 and B9. So if you are not averse to non-veg food, and then you can have lots of fish more than chicken and mutton, because fish is not doesn't create generally doesn't create constipation like red meat and chicken. But fruit is fishes are a very good source of B12, especially prawns, कोळंबी ज्याला म्हणतो. So if any patient is she त्यांना जर साथ में असेल, if she is used to non-veg food, then she can eat in pregnancy also. Not necessary that she has to stop. But fish is a very good source of B12, folate, and that is why in anemia it is one big asset if a person is eating fish. So thank you very much. I hope I have covered all the points. And if anyone has any questions, most welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am. How nicely and simply you taught us regarding folic acid, and you introduced the new concept that is breastfeeding cafe. I
Yeah.
personally never heard about this, and how simply you told the recipes also and diet, everything. So it is a complete lecture, a complete session regarding folic acid prevention as well as in a treatment point of view also. So thank you very much for your valuable time and your extraordinary knowledge sharing with us. And we would like to hear you again and again on our platform. And if anyone question is there, they can WhatsApp me on 8828220108, and we would definitely plan some other lecture on the series also, just nearby. So thank you very much. And thank you all the listeners also for patience listening. Thank you
Thank
and
you.
good evening to all. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.